so today we're going to take you through some suspension setup. How to set your rear suspension if you don't have any guidelines. There's general rules for the amount of sag. Now you're asking, what is sag? Sag is the amount that you'll make your suspension compress when you sit on it. How we can tell where the sag is set is with this little rubber O-ring that sits on your suspension stanchion or shaft. Now, once you've seated on the bike and compressed the suspension, you'll need to climb off again. The O-ring will obviously stay in the max position that it's being compressed to. You can then measure the distance of the O-ring versus the overall distance to work out the percentage of sag that you have on your rear suspension. So let's see. Greg, come hop on and let's see if this is set for you. Okay, so we've made sure that the rear shock is set on the open valve setting, which might be labeled as descend on your rear shock. Climb onto the bike, bounce a little bit just to make sure that you've got it actually moving and activating. Then sit and rest. Bring the O-ring back up. And I find it best to just drop over to the side so that you don't compress it again, and we'll see where it has moved to. So now this shaft has 40 mils, 4 centimeters of full length stroke on it. And what we're looking for is between 10, 15, and right up to 30% of sag, depending on what type of bike it is and how much travel the bike has. Now in this cross-country marathon Cannondale Scalpel, we'd probably be looking for 15 to just over 20% of sag. So if we measure from the O-ring to the main body of the suspension, we're sitting at 17 mils, so almost 2 centimeters, which if we work out is sitting at a little bit too much sag for this bike and the style of riding that this bike would be for Greg's rider weight. So what we're going to do is see where we should set it. Okay, so 17 mils of sag with the 40 mil shaft is roughly just over 40% of sag, which is far too much for this style of bike and for any bike. So what we want to do is we want to pump it up so that when we get Greg back on the bike, we're probably in the region of 8 to 10 at most mils of sag on this bike. So now we got my fancy hydraulic design shock pump, and we're sitting at 135 psi. So we want to take that up a little bit, and let's just start with an extra 10 psi and see where that leaves our sag. Okay, we're going to leave it at 150 and see what we do there. Okay, Greg, let's get you back on there so we can see where the sag is, please. Okay, so there immediately we can see the suspension hasn't actually gone all the way to the O-ring. So we have made it a little bit firmer, but not enough. We probably need to increase that a bit. Okay, so we've taken the pressure up to just under 190 psi now, and Greg's on it for hopefully last time just to check where we are with the sag. So that's great, Greg. You can hop off and let's see how much sag we can measure there. Okay, so that's looking much better. For this cross-country marathon style bike, we want anywhere from 15 to just over 20%. Depending on rider style, and obviously we know that Greg wants to make sure that he is using his travel, so we'll be in the 20 type region. So we're sitting at just over 8 millimeters of sag there, which is pretty much on 20% for this shock. So there we go, Greg. Now you know you're sitting at just under 190 psi for your rear suspension. Next time we can deal with rebound setting and why you would be bouncing around too much even if your pressure is set correctly.